Good morning and welcome to Alzora Golf Club. Today we're going to be talking about fairway woods, how to use them and when to use them. Now in my experience I think that fairway woods are one of the hardest clubs in the bag to use. I've seen amateur golfers and even professional golfers struggling with them. So today I'm going to give you a few tips on how to use them better. What I hear regularly from my students is that they struggle to play with their fairway woods. Now the main reason for this is that the shaft is very long and the club is quite low lofted. And you have to be quite precise to hit one of these clubs off the fairway. Now I've always been a 2 fairway wood man in my golf bag. I've always had a strong 3 wood about 13 degrees and a 5 wood at about 17 or 18. Now when I'm playing in tournaments, if I'm feeling under pressure, a bit nervous or not great with my swing, I would always go for the higher lofted fairway wood. A fairway wood with more loft is easier to play with. You'll see a lot of amateur golfers, they have a 7 wood or a 5 wood which they hit very well. So next time you're playing on the course, if you're not feeling great about your swing, or if the ball is in the fairway, it's not sitting perfectly, take your higher lofted fairway wood because that is going to give you more forgiveness to get that ball up in the air. So like with the driver, it's very important that you're getting your equipment fit. Now with the fairway woods, what we need to have fit is having the correct lofts on the club. I like to see my amateur golfers with more loft, getting the correct shaft, and then if you have any movable weight technology, having the weights in the correct place on the head to give you the best ball flight. Now what we see on the market is 2 types of fairway wood. We have ones with quite narrow faces, quite shallow faces, which are very easy or easier to hit off the fairways. And then we have the fairway woods which are much deeper, where the middle is much higher. Now these are designed to be hit off the tee and not off the fairway. So if you have one of these deep fairway woods and you're trying to hit it off the fairway, it's going to make your life very difficult. So if you're going to use the fairway wood off the tee, what's very important is that you tee the ball up at the correct height. Too often do we see amateur golfers who tee the ball too high with a fairway wood. Now the face is only shallow here, it's quite small, so we have to be careful that we don't tee the ball up too high, because so often we see amateur golfers teeing the ball up very high, going under the ball, and leaving these nice marks on the top of the club. So a general rule of thumb for the fairway wood is about half of the ball teed above the top of the club face. So now we've come here, we're going to play the ball from the fairway. The first thing we have to do is read the lie. Now, what is reading the lie? Often your ball will be in the fairway, but it will not be sat in a perfect position. It can often be on a slight downhill slope, or it can even be in a depression in the grass. Now this is going to make it more difficult to strike the fairway wood. So what I always do in this situation is I go for a higher lofted club to make it slightly easier to get the ball out and up into the air. So always look out for this. If the ball is in a slight depression in the grass or on a slight down slope, either go for an iron or go for your higher lofted fairway wood. So now we're ready to hit the shot. First thing we have to do is decide on the flight that we're going to try and hit, whether we're going to try and hit a natural straight shot or trying to draw it or fade it. Now once we've done that, I always make a couple of little practice swings next to the ball where I just try to make the right sound on the grass. I learn quite a lot from sound, and that's what I try to make here, is the correct sound, the correct contact with the grass. Once I've done that, I feel like I'm ready to hit the shot. I focus on my target. I take my start position where the ball is slightly further forward. Again, I'm slightly tilted behind the ball, and now I'm ready to hit the shot. I hope these tips on fairway woods have helped you. Make sure you go and get fit, make sure you have the correct fairway woods in the bag, make sure you read the lie, and then make a nice confident swing at it, and hopefully you'll be hitting more fairways or hitting the greens with your fairway woods.